Hello, and welcome to the Cycle Starters podcast. This podcast is made just for you if you're breaking intergenerational patterns and turning ancestral wounds into creative potential, embodied joy, and intergenerational abundance. I'm your host, Heather Rebecca Wilson. I'm passionate about ancestral healing and growth, as well as astrology and pleasure as transformative medicine. And I'm here to help elevate your consciousness and promote joy in your life. I truly believe everyone can become a cycle starter, reshaping their lineage and fostering growth and healing. Join me as I share enlightening insights and feature inspiring guests. We're here to support you in letting go of anything that's holding you back from your fullest expression in healing, growth, and transformation. If you're ready to be inspired on your journey of transformation and to create a life that aligns with your true self, then you are in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our social media platforms. You can learn about what I do and how I can support you along your ancestral healing journey on my website, heatherrebeccawilson.com. You can connect with me, absolutely DM me any topics you'd like for me to cover. Share your takeaways or send me a screenshot of your review and I will send you a thank you gift. Curious about receiving one-on-one mentorship? You can apply for a free breakthrough call using the link in the description. And here we go. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited today. So welcome everybody. I'm Heather, and in case you're new to my work, I'm an Astro ancestral healing guide. I am a trauma-informed leadership mentor, an inclusive culture catalyst. So I do a lot of diversity, equity, and inclusion training and consulting in lots of different spaces. And then, of course, I have private clients, and they all are on an ancestral healing journey. They would all, I feel comfortable saying, they're all self-identified cycle breakers. And today on the Cycle Starters podcast, because we're really focused on the new cycles people are starting in their families and in their lineages, right? What seeds are you planting? Today, I'm so excited to welcome our guest expert for the month of October, Lakenda Wallace. So she is the guest expert inside of my monthly membership called the Astro Ancestral Healing Collective. And this is a sacred space for female-bodied cycle breakers to alchemize deep ancestral wounds into embodied joy, creative potential, and shifts to higher consciousness using astrology and pleasure as transformative medicine. And one of the many perks of the membership is that we gather on each new moon or near the new moon for a pleasure practice using the jade egg or whatever you want. That's always optional. Using the crystal egg is always optional. And then we have a dance party. And then one of the other perks is that we have a monthly guest expert share a live experience, a workshop with everybody. So Lakenda's offering is called Organizing Your Ancestral Team, and she is going to tell us more about that in a bit. But first, I want to read her bio so you guys get to know a little bit about what she is bringing to the table and how she got here, and then we're going to start our conversation. So Lakenda Wallace is a Reiki Master Teacher with more than 25 years experience. Lakenda has taught rabbis, mental health workers, government agencies, and preschool children and adults from all walks of life. Her self-affirming lessons have helped others manage stress and feel more capable and self-confident. Lakenda's mission, both through her natural perfumery and Reiki, is to give others access to the tools she has found to assist in regulating emotions and tapping into the divine magic within each of us. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy we met each other. So
great.
Yeah, well, so the first we get into how you came to develop this offering and share this unique medicine of yours. What is your ancestry?
I am Gullah Geechee. Well, actually, I had my 23andMe ancestry done, and it's pretty funny because my friend calls me Lakenda Worldwide now. I have ancestry that is Thai, Indian, UK, Scottish, Irish, Nigerian, from which I love because I'm very much into the natural medicine and the natural religions from the Yoruba. And it turns out my people are from Oshun, which is like the capital of the whole Yoruban religion thing. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, hello. But in my world of what I know and the people I know and the direct lineage, my people are Gullah Geechee. So they're from the islands off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. I think that it's so interesting to know people's backgrounds. And I have to also share that I too have a Nigerian ancestry, and I feel like that's part of why you and I have connected. So I forgot to say in the beginning is that my maternal ancestors are from the Visayan Islands of Leyte, Samar, and Panay, in what is now known as the Philippines. And then my paternal ancestors are from all over West Africa, but primarily Nigeria and Ghana. And then
Mm-hmm.
I also have paternal ancestors from the British Isles of Northern Europe. So I love that we have this Nigerian ancestry in common.
That's cool.
It's so cool. Well, so tell our viewers, tell our listeners how you came to become a Reiki master, and basically like how did you come to develop this offering to share with everybody?
Well, honestly, all of my offerings came from needing to heal myself.
Mm,
I came from a background with a wonderful parents who were married for God knows 50 years. I mean, just great people who really tried their best for me. And my mother had some undiagnosed issues that would
okay.
cause her to rage,
Mm,
sometimes for hours, just screaming crazy things. And it was that and some other things that I guess you could say I dealt with child abuse as a kid. A lot of African American child rearing quite often starts to look like something like slave masters would have done,
mm-hmm.
which is super unfortunate. But she tried her best. I would not be where I am now if it were not for her. And it left me with a lot of scars. So I spent a lot of time healing. Then I married a man just like my mom. Because I was trying to work it out, which is pretty much that impetus of going, this isn't working. And I went on a crazy healing journey. I learned deep meditation techniques, Reiki, and aromatherapy all at the same time. I was looking for answers and looking at how I could calm a very dysregulated system. I
Mm-hmm.
recognized that I ran on emotion, but I didn't know how to regulate that. So running on emotion can make you very like all over the place. And yeah, learning Reiki for me was like having someone actually give me magic. I was like,
Mm,
this is what magic feels like. My body attuned to it so quickly, and I just did a deep dive and really found that it was one of those major transformative things for me.
that is awesome. I'm so glad that you found Reiki. And your energy, 'cause we didn't meet that long ago, your energy is so positive and harmonious and chill. So whatever
Thank
you're
you.
doing, it's working. This just want to let you know the ancestral healing journey, I think for each of us is unique, and it definitely has ups and downs. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey and specifically what patterns or cycles you've been breaking
Mm,
in your lineage?
so many. um, Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like there were some really dark things that my ancestors had signed on to for the preservation of the family line.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. And the more I look at it, it's kind of like, so my ancestors in Georgia, super impressive people. I mean, really, we can go back and tell you Adeline and Wiley were the last people who were in slavery. They were freed. Their children by 1865 was the first time that Black people were allowed to vote. And my people are on that registry. Cannot imagine the courage it took to walk into a voting place as an African American, newly freed in rural Georgia. I'm like, God, y'all are tough. Resilience is our thing.
So brave.
They had managed to, their whole thing was they knew that land was important and they knew that family was important. And family all worked together to buy land and to make land and to create something for our family. And in fact, there's now Watkinsville, I think it's called, some little town in Georgia. It's named after that part of the family. Hawkinsville. Like, they did very well for themselves. But there's something dark in the line as well. And when I looked at it, what you find is that at some point, someone wanted to make sure that our family would be safe and prosperous and be able to sustain themselves despite all of the odds against them. And they connected with something that was darker, which causes, I think, might be connected to some of the instability, we'll call it, in the family that runs through the family. But for me, it's been a journey to find out more about who I am, how I can best live my own resilient life, right? Like, I want to do all of these things that are super creative, and everyone's like, well, I guess you're going to be a starving artist. And I'm like, well, no. Surely there's another, it doesn't work that way for everybody. So it doesn't have to work that way for me. But in order to step up, to have the courage to sit with you and have this conversation, or do marketing or start my own business or any of it, it was really required that I like myself more than I ever did. I also had a crazy in such a good way grandmother who is my birthday buddy.
Oh, nice.
And she definitely has come through over the years to really guide and hold me. And, she's a tough love lady, so she put it in my face when I needed something put in my face too. But yeah, that's been very, very good for me.
Well, speaking of the unseen realms, you mentioned, that you were picking up on some darkness in your line, and you were just talking about how your grandmother, right, has been your birthday buddy, has come to you over the years to give you much needed messages. Let's start talking astrology, because I think that your unique energetic signature, and I only know your sun, moon, and rising sign at this point, that signature really speaks to how psychic and intuitive you are, and your ability to receive information in nonlinear ways. So do you mind if I reveal your sun, moon, and rising to our community here? Okay, so Lakenda is a Pisces sun, okay, mutable water, and then a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio moon, both fixed water. So you are watery. You are very psychic, very intuitive. All of the water signs are, but the fact that you have like Pisces and double Scorpio in your big three, you are extremely sensitive to energy. And Pisces especially is so multidimensional. Pisces is just, can be boundaryless to the point that it's to their detriment. So part of the Pisces growth journey is learning how to create strong energetic boundaries. And then what I love about this like Scorpio energy is that you are probably a very good researcher. You are an attentive detective, and at least the Scorpios that I know, it's like they're born with a PhD in psychology. You understand the human psyche on a gut intuitive level. Would you say that's true?
Yes, that is actually very true. And like, just understanding how humans work has always been my thing, because having so much water and being so emotional, it's been very hard to feel like I understood people because our world doesn't work on emotions. Our world tells you emotions are bad. Don't do that. That's how you get hurt. Cover that up.
100%. Yes.
So I was like, how do people do it? I spent my whole life just watching people going, how are you doing this?
Well, so I know that I was raised being told that I was too sensitive. Did you hear that
Oh,
growing
yeah.
up?
I'm too sensitive. You need to get a thicker skin. All of the ones.
And look, it ended up being our superpowers. Yeah. Thank you for allowing me to share your unique energetic signature with our community. I think it's really fascinating to hear, like what signs make up you, right? And what you
Yeah.
bring to the table. And then, the other thing about Scorpio that I love is that it doesn't matter how gross it is, how dark it is, how unsavory it is. Scorpios want to be told the truth. And
Truth.
I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate like the level of dark humor I can really engage in with my Scorpio friends. Like we
Oh,
can
that's good.
just laugh about like the sickest things, but then like come back, It's like we could go to these really dark places and laugh about, you know, kind of like unsavory things, but then we can pull it back and be like, yeah, we're good,
Mhm.
but there's no subject that is taboo for the Scorpios, right?
Which
Like
is for the
we're gonna
best.
go there.
Yeah. There's information to be gathered there.
Yes,
It's
yes.
for the best. And we spend too much time, humanity. I get it. It's part of how the brain works. The brain goes, this is good, this is bad. You need to know that so you know where to go. And it wants to categorize everything. And the truth is, life is lived in the grays. There's going to be good things and bad things. And if you want to understand how the world works, it is about understanding that dark will always exist with light and to appreciate what both offer to give you a full picture.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. So what has been the biggest challenge for you in terms of starting new cycles, right? Breaking these cycles. What has been the hardest part? Because I do think it helps for other people who are new to this to hear, right? What's it been like, right? And what's the hardest part been?
For me, it's interesting because I think of it like a spiral.
Yep.
You are going to go through and you'll see different versions of whatever your lesson is. It'll never look the same, but you'll end up in something that looks like a familiar place, dealing with the same thing. And for me, that is, it's the courage to be seen, as you can imagine, because of growing up. I don't know. There's been a litany of things, partially through ancestry, partially through parentage, that has just been, don't make too many waves. If you stand out, you have to stand out as you're standing at the top of the podium, or don't. So perfectionism is a problem. Wanting to take the courage to be seen, because what if I can't be the best at it? What if I make a mistake and I'm out front? Like, that's not acceptable either. And honestly, there's ancestry who I've been working with quite wonderfully. It's been very nice in connecting. But the ancestor who first put that into the bloodline, the whole idea of, I have to keep you safe. And if you are living the life of a slave, then keep a low profile.
Yeah.
That keeps you safe. Keep a low profile. And so that had been echoing through my life. But my drive, my passion, everything I want to do is like right out front. Clearly, I don't even know where my Leo is, but it must be so center stage, like 10th house or something. Because I'm like,
I know. I'm gonna have to read your chart. I'm so curious. But I will say that your Scorpio energy, makes you very, very passionate about whatever you do. Um, you know, Scorpio can be out front as well because it's like fixed water and Leo is fixed fire. So they have that kind of in common.
that's cool.
So thank you for sharing all of this because I do think it helps folks, again, who are just being introduced to ancestral healing and don't really know what it's about and can be really intimidated by it. And I love that you mentioned the spiraling nature of a healing journey, right? Circling back to similar situations, similar people, similar relationships, but from a higher level of consciousness each time, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not linear at all. And there are many, many ups and downs. And so I wish that I had more people around me when I was doing this work. And that's why I started the Astro Ancestral Healing Collective membership so that we could do this healing work in community, because we're meant to heal in community.
Yeah.
And there is definitely work we can do individually for sure, but I think there is nothing like being in a group of like-minded folks who are, tied together by that intention, this like joint intention, like breaking cycles. Especially when we do, embodiment work together and root work and crystal egg work together as female bodied beings, doing it all together. It's very, very powerful. And we're dancing too. It's amazing. So speaking of the membership, yeah, it's awesome. I hope you come to one of the events. I would love that. I want to now turn to the amazing offering that you've put together for members, but it's also open to any female-bodied being from any lineage and culture. It'll just be $30 for people who are not in the membership. If you are in the membership, you get access to the live experience, but then you also get access to the recording that is part of our growing library of resources. We have a bunch of amazing workshops in there. So your offering is called Organizing Your Ancestral Team, a Reiki-based shamanic ancestral journey. So can you tell me a little bit about this and then specifically get into how participants can best prepare to get the most out of that experience?
Well, for me, the biggest thing is to be very grounded before you start. So we'll do a very in-depth grounding first and foremost, just making sure that our spirit is connected to this form. Then we go deep. We'll run Reiki connect us all via Reiki. So I can kind of just at least suss out how people are doing on the journey a little bit more intuitively and easily. And I'll take you to the ancestral bridge, where you get to see your ancestors lined up on either side. And it's an opportunity to present your ancestors with whatever that problem is that you're trying to work through. For me, it's to be seen, right? How can I be courageous? How can I live my dreams? And, I put that ball, which actually looks something like a golden yarn, and the other end of the yarn will continue to roll back until it gets to that person in your line who has offered that to your line. Because there's a thing of it, no matter what your ancestors, all humans are not great people. So you're going to have some ancestors who are really great and have put things into the line to try and keep the family safe, to try and keep the family going. It's usually offered to the line for the very best of intentions. Occasionally, there's someone who's just causing trouble. I've had one family member that I've just blocked from having any access to me or anyone in my line, which in itself is a huge and really well done break. That needed to be cut. But generally speaking, people offer because they love you. They want your line to do well. They want you to do well. They're trying to help. I know as a mother, sometimes I help too much. So you have ancestors who also are that way and have helped. You're like, okay, I lead. You can do this dance with me, but I got to lead the dance. But it's a great opportunity to really feel that connection with your ancestors. Feel and understand that, because there's a way that it can be set up. I've heard some people talk about it and it just feels very antagonistic. And I'm like, it's usually not. It's really usually not. People are just trying to do their best, generally speaking. And sometimes you're still not aware enough, whether you're in body or not, that you are injuring somebody else because you're still not living their experience. So it's kind of that moment of, opening it up. Can you respect why your ancestors have dropped the information in, and then work with them so they understand the life that you are living in this time and how their gift is actually not working for you in this timeline, so that the two of you together can heal whatever that is and update it and upgrade it for your best and your family line's best interest moving forward.
Oh my God, you've dropped so much knowledge in this description of your workshop. I mean, you talked about how not all of our ancestors are healed, whole, and abundant. Some of them are still messed up.
Yeah.
And I love how you spoke about how, we have to set energetic boundaries in the realms of the unseen, right? Not just in the 3D in our relationships, but with spirit, right?
Totally.
With those ancestors that aren't healed. And I love how you mentioned how it can be a collaborative effort, the healing, right? Because I think one of the misconceptions that was really like a burden on my shoulders initially when I first started my healing journey was that I have to heal the whole line myself,
Oh,
right?
that's a lot
Which
of
is
work.
like impossible. It's impossible. And so what really gave me relief and more space to just be and have peace and joy in my life is I set the intention to partner with those healed and whole ancestors to deal with the unhealed ones, right? Do your part on the other side, and I'm going to do what I can while I'm here in this incarnation. So I think these are really important distinctions for people to know about, because I think it makes doing this healing work more accessible, more
Yeah.
digestible for people. Because, like I said before, I think people are really intimidated by it, and it is intimidating, right?
It's a
This
lot.
is not for the faint of heart, and I say this in every conversation. Not everybody signed up for this in this life. So, especially when it comes to my one-on-one practice, I only work with people who come to me basically and say, I want to do this, right? They've sought me out. You cannot
Mhm.
drag people into this work. Some people are just not doing it, and it's okay. It's totally fine. That's just not
How, pe-
their divine assignment. Yeah.
how people and making people approach their family is always going to be, you can't make them do anything. Their
No.
relationship with their family has got to be worked out with the family, in body or out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so for folks attending, I think that they should probably bring a notebook and a writing utensil in case they want to take some notes while you are leading this, unless you feel like that would be a distraction.
Well, there's some chatting that happens before we get started, so I can
Mhm.
understand wanting to take notes, or you may want to take notes for after, just like what you experience, so you have it in a journal or somewhere written down and it doesn't fly away. I'll make time for questions after because I get that.
Wonderful. Amazing. So I want to let people know when this live experience is actually going to happen. So we have set the date for October 30th at 5 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. EST. And again, this is included in the Astro Ancestral Healing Collective monthly membership, but this is open to all female-bodied cycle breakers. Doesn't matter what lineage or culture you're coming from. You're invited to join us. This is going to be really, really magical, and I'm so excited for this.
The
So
veil will
thank
be
you.
thin.
I know. It's Halloween. It's Samhain the next day, so it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you one last question, and you've touched on this throughout our conversation, but what new seeds are you planting in your lineages? What are the cycles that you are starting?
Stepping out. I'm sitting on this podcast. I told someone earlier, as I told you, I feel like I'm taking my broom out of the closet.
Yes.
I feel like this is the time There's so much going on in our world. I feel like we have trained ourselves to be traumatized and to be so triggered at this point that we can't even hear anyone say anything that's opposite because we're just triggered. We're in trauma and we're triggered. And I feel like I spent 25 years trying to learning how to be at this place on the spiral where I'm sitting with you on camera. And I want to bring that to other people. I really do think that's my mission, is to help other people. So that's where I'm on the spiral, stepping 100% into my mission, trying desperately not to do something self-sabotaging. The human experience, the truth of the human experience. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It feels like a whole new time. My kids are grown.
How old are your kids?
My oldest just turned 25, and my youngest is going to be 22 in November.
Oh, wow.
So I'm learning new ways to parent,
Yeah.
which means there's all of this time and energy that I'm putting into me.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's really weird. It's great, but it's weird.
Well, your kids are so lucky to have you. You're an incredible role model to them.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
what a blessing. That's fantastic. Well, so I'm so excited for this offering. If any of this speaks to you, please check out the Astro Ancestral Healing Collective monthly membership, because not only will you get, access to this live experience, you'll also get access to the recording in case you want to revisit it. There are many, many other perks to the membership, but you can find out all about that on heatherrebeccawilson.com, and I will put the link to the membership and to this workshop specifically. Put that in the link below. And then, Lakenda, if people want to learn more about you, where should they go?
I am continuing to expand my website for more information. If you'd like to learn about natural perfumes, aromatherapy, and using scent to heal, then buy it, which is another part of something I do. Feel free to look at modernpeasant.com. We'd love to have you over there. And we'll be doing a bunch of events and some classes through the Institute of Art and Olfaction coming up in September. So come and play.
In LA?
I'm going to do my classes for them. It is the place out of LA, but I'll be doing them online on Zoom.
Okay.
So
All
open
right.
to anyone, anywhere.
We're going to have to do some live event together. I got to figure that out.
That'd be fun.
I know. Well, so we'll talk more. But
Okay.
anyway, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed and honored to be able to share you and your medicine with my community. And it's just always so nice to chat with you and connect with you. And we'll see you next time on the Cycle Starters podcast. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.